hello, welcome everyone. Oh wait, I need to new Discord, hello. Welcome everyone to video round 5 in Rockingham. Out here tonight we have Koi, again, my co-commentator, hello.
Hello.
He is not gonna be locked in because he is practicing, but that's fine. Okay, we're just waiting on one of the judges. The ginger one. So here's our track tonight. So initiation zone, nice and simple, straight line to a brake zone. Drivers are allowed to left foot brake and hand brake into the first corner, which will be 55 degrees of angle all the way around the first corner, into a smooth transition into the fourth outer zone, and then drivers need to shallow up angle slowly and smoothly into the fifth, where there's 45 minimum of angle, and then into the next one where there's 50. Again, we want to see smooth adding up of angle. Left foot brake zone will be left foot brake only, so no hand brake. Left foot brake and or off throttle. Oh wait, there's no way. Okay, and then into I'm just looking at the chat. Okay, and then there's a big high angle corner. 555 minimum in first. How high were you, the guy who did this? Bro, it's fine, you literally can drive 55. First corner I do 60 even. First corner, I don't know, is it first corner?
What, someone's complaining about that?
Slipstream, of course it is. And then high angle corner, 60 degrees. Into the transition, 55, and then 55 for the last hour clip. I'm going 60 there, we're doing 55, because we did 4 battles, so like people can, anyways, shut up. Right, do we... I'm gonna ask if we're ready to the judges. Okay. Alright. Alright. Drivers are... Oh, I need to rejoin for smoke. Should I rejoin for smoke or no? Do we care? No.
You see the lines better anyways.
Yeah, fuck smoke. For quali, yeah, but this one we don't need smoke. Yeah, fuck. Alright. So, here's our bracket for real quick. I'm guessing he did spec checks and everything. So we have Nazar and Shadow for the first battle on the line. Oops.
You got the first one.
I got it. Alright, Nazar will give lead in the Toyota Supra Mark IV and Shadow in the RCF from Team Seduced. Shadow the best? We'll see. I'm can be there in less than 10 minutes. Okay, he's... Oh.
Wait, pause? Pazuno or whatever?
No, Zulu said that.
Oh, W.
Alright, we'll see. Judges are ready, and... Yep, drivers are ready, getting the flashes. They're gonna be sent off the line in a few seconds. Alright, off the line they go. Nazar in lead, Shadow in the chase. Nice initiation from Nazar out front, tapping the handbrake to get on the outside line. Nice white line for Nazar. Shadow is right there with him, right onto the door, giving him room to transition for the outer zone 4. Nice and deep, as Shadow just doesn't let him go. He's glued to his door, painting that tire. Goes Nazar onto the white line into the decel zone, nice and composed, as Shadow gives him room now to transition for the last corner. Nice and white goes Nazar onto the white line again and across the line. Good run from both drivers. Alright. Pushing them around. Shadow will be in lead.
Now. Shadow leading off Nazar. An RCF and Supra. Oh. A little bit of a...
Oh. I don't think he...
Yeah, didn't really go when he should have there, I guess, or maybe Shadow left early. I don't know. Not used to the Russian countdown, I guess. Well, here we go though. Getting ready. Bro. Still not going off the line. What is happening?
Nazar. Nazar sleeping on the line. Is he okay?
No, wake him up. It's about to... What if he gets 3 strikes? Would that be on
Oh,
him?
his Discord died. Okay.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate.
Alright. We're gonna give him some time to leave and rejoin the Discord. When you gotta sick, turn core up a bit yourself or turn yourself down either or. Wait, speak koi? Oh yeah, you are hella quiet. That's my Discord being quiet.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, you're
Well,
good
here
to
we go,
now.
though. Shadow leading off Nexar, going for that side-by-side entry. Nexar getting right there with him, a little bit shallow in the chase, but it's on him now. Amazing lead coming from Shadow, as we can see. Nexar right there, not letting him get away. Nice zone from both drivers. Nexar not exactly mimicking, but mimicking overall very nicely as they go through there. Nexar right on that door into that decel zone. Amazing lead so far from Shadow here, painting that white line. Transitioning bumper to bumper as Nezixar gets right back onto that door. Not exactly mimicking, but amazing chase from Nezixar. And that lead from Shadow was very nice.
Yeah, indeed. That was very good lead to Chase. Chase taking a bit of a shallower line with the first corner. Overall, good proximity overall. Nice and smooth. 2 meta cars battling each other. Alright. Yeah, it's fine. I can let replay run one time. That's okay. Alright, as we do have a decision from the judges. And it will be...
Nezixar.
It will be
taking the
Nezixar.
win, yeah.
Congratulations, Nezixar. Moving on to top 16. Unfortunate for Shadow. Oh, whoopsie. Alright, next up on the line. Who that? Alright. Has Koi lost yet? Yeah, he has. He has. Next up on the line, we have Reggie.
One
Oh.
leading off. I'm in a run right now, so I'm not.
Yeah, I do first.
Last
Well,
Martian.
you just,
Yeah, last Martian. You go.
Alright, off the line, there you go. Reggie in that lead position, that S2K. Ooh, a little bit of contact coming out of the start line as he goes onto the second outer zone. Nice and wide goes Reggie, very smooth. Just over here, Martian giving him room, taking a bit of a shallower line. Ooh, a little bit of lag from Carex. We love that as Reggie goes doing his lead onto the white line, giving him the door. Opening that door up into the decel zone. Now goes last Martian around to the door, right in tow. Nice proximity. He needs to give room here as he does. Transition across the bumper. Dives onto the door of Reggie. Good run.
Yeah, amazing job. Very
Very
nice
well
lead from
done.
Reggie, and that chase
Yeah.
was also very fluent from Last Martian. But switching it around here, now Last Martian in that Supra, going to be leading off Reggie. Let's see, how does this go? If I go flashing the lights, 16th and 17th qualifier, putting down similar scores. Here they go off the line, heading towards initiation. Side by side from Reggie, getting right onto that door. Last Martian, amazing lead so far, setting down a nice line. Reggie just not letting him get away. Transitioning bumper to bumper, little bit caught up from Reggie, getting a tire drop there. Unfortunate. Last Martian, though, holding a nice line through here, right on the white line in these zones. But Reggie is caught back up with him, as we can see here. Amazing lead through that zone, transitioning bumper to bumper, surging right back onto that door. Not exactly mimicking, but right on him is Reggie.
Proximity, damn. Good driving from both drivers. I love the proximity from Reggie. And Martian's chase also is very aggressive. Oof, that lag. I think that's my lag. I think it's just a game issue as always.
Judges are definitely going to be looking at that first transition in Last Martian's lead, because they said they didn't really want to see people choking up the chase driver there. They're definitely going to look at who was at fault for that contact.
Alright, as we have a decision from the judges. And it will be Last Martian moving
Last Martian
on.
taking a win against Reggie. Yeah, it looks like that must have been Reggie's fault for that transition. That caused him to drop a tire.
Next up. What? Hello? What the fuck? Okay.
Hello?
Nah, it's do OBS things. Alright. Next up on the line, we're gonna have Creme and Herooqi.
Yeah.
Wait, no, didn't we say, is he good to go? Okay, I guess he is. Alright. Creme will give lead in the Nissan S15 from Monster Girl against Herooqi from Team Tracer in the Supra Mark IV. Off the line they go, firing that car down a straight. Nice initiation from Creme all the way wide, using all the track onto the wide line. Herooqi taking a bit of a shallower line, not on the door, not mimicking the line. Now transitioning around this fourth outer zone. Herooqi now right there with him onto the door, mimicking the angle perfectly as Creme gives him the best lead so far onto the white line. Slow descent to the descent. Ooh, and a bit of a tight drop from Creme up front as Herooqi gives him room to transition, gives him room to maneuver. Makes his way around the last outer zone. Yo, Frosty. Yo, hello, Q.
Pushing it around though, gonna have Herooqi leading off Creme. How will this go? Will they be able to match performance or do better? Let's see. That Supra versus that S15. Again, meta cars. Let's see. Oh, a little bit of complications at the start line, seems like.
The Super Medicar? Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Here we go, heading down the straight. Creme in that chase, going for a side-by-side initiation. Oh, a little bit too aggressive from Creme, a little bit shallow in the chase, but very nice line from Herooqi on the white line in these zones. Transitioning bumper to bumper is Creme, getting right onto that door as Herooqi gives him a very nice lead to chase. A little bit of a drop though coming from Herooqi there in the lead, and almost another drop there, but I don't know if it was or not. But Creme is just on that door and that decel, surging very nicely, transitioning. Amazing job from Creme getting right back onto that door, mimicking very well.
There's a bit of a tie up, I think, but
yeah.
We'll see what the judges have to say about that. Yeah, and chase from, I guess they both did it in the chase. They had a very shallow initiation, so yeah. And tie up here in the lead of Herooqi. Two very good drivers, two talented drivers. Herooqi, I don't think I've seen him before. Team Tracer, I've never heard of them. Oh, well, I guess I only play with Russians. As we do have a decision. And it will be... Who is it? I'm blind, okay. And it will be Creme moving on, taking the win, moving on to top 16. Congratulations, Creme. Unfortunate for Herooqi getting knocked out. Moving on to our last... top 16 of, top 30 of this group. It will be Devilish Crew. Ooh, Devilish Crew against G Stars. Or we're gonna have Nazar in the lead against Loft Q in the chase.
That Ronaldo
Supra Mark
picture.
4. Yeah, against 400Z. Don't think I've seen that car. Nice initiation from both drivers. Loft Q already onto the door of Nazar. Yeah, round to the door, onto the second outer zone.
Nice
Nazar
lead.
painting that line. Oof. Tire marks all over the door as Loft Q transitions into the shallow section of the track. Putting lots of angle, putting more angle than the lead and still being right there with him. But mimic of the line, not the best from Loft Q. As Nazar does his job on the lead, doing it perfectly, giving him the door, opening it up for him. And Loft Q dives onto the door.
Amazing lead and chase. That was a very quality run there. I think that was the best one we've seen so far. Look at around though. Now we're gonna have Loft Q leading off last Martian. Loft Q coming from G Stars in that 400Z. Or not last Martian. Oh, I didn't even. Nazar leading off Nazar. Here we go off the line. That 400Z heading into that initiation. Back to back from Nazar, getting right onto that door. Not exactly mimicking. Ooh, almost a drop from Loft Q, but I don't know if it was or not. Here we go, transitioning. Nice job from Nazar. Bumper to bumper, not letting him get away. Nazar seems to be struggling a little bit to be mimicking Loft Q there. But Loft Q is giving him a very nice lead to mimic. Ooh, tire drop. Was that a collision or not? I don't know. We couldn't really see from these cameras. But here we go, transitioning. Not letting that mess up the end of the run and crossing the finish line.
Ooh. That might be the decision.
We'll have to look at that because I don't know if the track cams really can show.
Yeah.
And then even if there was a contact, depends whose fault it was and all that.
Judges are gonna have to take a look at their clips. Let's see on the right side. Was there? And then here transition was a little complicated for Nazar as well. I don't know if there was contact. I don't know. We'll see what the judges say about this one. I just went oof, yeah. Because it was a very clean lead from Loft Q up front. Nazar go. Well, he went. Did he go too hard? I don't think there was contact. I mean, Nazar's car bounced, but I don't think that was. I think he just like handbraked or something. I can't really see from my POV. I might need to move some of the cameras so we can have a better point of view. Let me see, which camera is it? This one. Okay, move this one like a bit higher. But oh, that's fine. We don't need partners. It's fine, Sam. Partners, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, the judges really do seem to be looking at this one. Must be some technical things that have happened there.
Yeah. Oh, which camera do I need to move? This one's fine. One's fine. It's this one. Move that one a bit. Okay. Alright, as we do have a decision after a long discussing time. And it will be unanimous for Nazar.
Yeah.
Alright, Nazar,
like
moving
Loft
on.
Q must have messed up there in that D-cell zone.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for him.
Alright. Moving on to our top 16. We're gonna have Nixar and Martian against. Or, no, what?
Against Nixar against Martian.
Wow. yeah, sorry. Nixar against last Martian and. Alright, both drivers on the line. Supra against Supra. Elementrix against Devilish Crew. Two very well known Russian team as they go off the line. Top secret body kit against I don't know what body kit that is. Initiating first. Okay, Rocket Bunny. Nice initiation from Nixar. Last Martian giving him room to maneuver, not getting onto the door. Now applies the pressure into the third outer zone, transitioning nice and smooth for Last Martian. Right onto the bumper as he goes onto the door, into the shallow section of the track. Nixar doing a very good job up front. Into the D zone they go. Nice job from Martian. Very composed, very controlled as he transitions onto the bumper of Nixar. Right up in there and making his way around the last outer zone. Crazy run from both drivers.
Yeah, very nice job. Two quality drivers making it into top 16. Which one of these drivers will make it into top 8? Let's see. Well, switching it around. Last Martian will be leading off Nixar. How will this go? Off the line is Nixar in the chase. Martian in the lead. Behind the back initiation from Nixar, getting right under that door. Nice lead from Last Martian, doing a very nice job filling these zones. But Nixar is right on that door. Ooh, look at our early transition from Nixar, getting a little bit shallow, but he's right on that door of Last Martian, just pushing him around this track. Ooh, was that a drop? I don't know. But here they go into that D-cell zone. Nice job surging from Nixar as they go transition bumper to bumper into that zone. Amazing job from both drivers here. Nixar could be a bit closer, but overall amazing chase.
Damn, battle of the Supras. Good run, good battle from both. Will this be an upset? Will the first place qualifier get knocked out? Or will he reign and move on? I like his lead. Nixar's lead is very nice, but so is Martian's. This might be the first OMT, we'll see. Although Nixar has a bit more proximity there. Yo. I'm just saying hi in chat. There's a guy in chat saying hello.
I was gonna say, you usually say that when I'm like sleeping or something.
Do I? Okay, I do. Oopsie. Well, don't sleep, bro. Alright. Give them time to think about it. Looking at their clips, analyzing every single mistake. Will it be an OMT or will Nixar or Martian and move on? As we do have a decision, I called it. I'm crazy like that. And it will be a one more time. Alright, first one more time of the night in top 16. So, drivers are going to go back at it again.
Must have been an equal amount of mistakes from both drivers here.
Yeah. Alright, ready to go, ready to run. Nixar giving lead again. Last Martian giving chase. Just needs to clean it up, not leave it in the judge's hands. And off the line they go. Nixar in that Supra,
Ooh,
or both Supras. Yeah, a little bit of a jump start from last Martian
still
behind. Taking a bit of a shadow line up front as Martian gives him room to maneuver for transition. Ooh, almost too much room, and now dives onto the door into the inside line of the track. Nixar maybe getting pushed, tire dropping one into the outer zone number 6. As he makes his way around into the D-side zone, nice and smooth. And Martian being very aggressive behind him, almost pushing him around the outer zones. He knows he needs to put it onto the door of Nixar as he makes it around the last. Martian
switching it around here now. We're gonna have last Martian leading off Nixar. How will this go? Which driver will be taken out in this battle? Well, here we go, heading down the straight. Nixar, side-by-side initiation, getting right onto the door of last Martian.
Ooh.
Oh! What even was that? Was that contact?
Yeah.
I don't know what really went on there. That could be
Take a look.
either driver's fault.
I believe those contact S on Nixar are very close. Let me see. Alright, let's see on the right side. That's what we're going to focus on. I think there's contact. I don't know what you think, Koi, but to me, I see Nixar car like bounce a bit, and then it's close.
It could, bro. I don't know, because like, it seems like last Martian.
It's hard with the camera angle to see.
Because maybe the reason that he hit him there was because last Martian knew he was about to go off track and was trying to save himself.
Yeah.
Because he contacted him out of the diesel zone, which means it could really go to either driver. I don't know.
Alright, and the judges have deemed. Wait, I don't. Okay, so yeah, judges have deemed Nixar at fault, so Martian will move on.
It looks like the first place qualifier will be getting taken out by last Martian.
Yeah.
Last Martian moving on to top 8, and top 8 he will fight for making it into top 4. Let's see.
Alright, next up on the line we have our second top 16 battle. Creme against Nazar. We have Monster against Devilish, S15 against Supra. Who will it be? Alright, off the line they go. Moving away from those cones, initiating nice initiation from Creme. Nice flick out wide. Ooh, painting the tire on the white line as Nazar goes. Takes a shallower line, not mimicking the angle as he transitions into the first transition. That doesn't make sense. Okay, nicely onto the door goes Nazar. Good proximity from Nazar. I like the make of the line as Creme makes his way around the D-cell zone. Ooh, and contact from Nazar. Was there a choke up from Creme? I don't know. Now transitioning for the last corner of the track and across the line. I can't speak. Alright, switching them around.
Yep. Will Devilish Crew fight off Devilish Crew in top 8? Or will it be Creme fighting off last Martian to get into top 4? Let's see. Looks like we have the 8th and 9th qualifier here, getting similar scores in qualifying. Ooh, a little bit of complications it seems.
Alright. Okay. Was there? Hold on. We might have a rerun due to lag. Waiting on the judges. Okay, so the lead teleported a bit, so we're gonna rerun that battle. Alright. Creme keep it in front. Okay. I forgot. Whatever. Alright, so doing it again. Creme will give lead. So we're gonna ignore the last run. Nice decision
Here we go.
from Creme.
Oh, fuck, you got it. Yeah, I forgot.
Nazar in tow onto the door. Way better proximity this time as he transitioned into the first or fourth outer zone. Nice and deep goes Creme, but Nazar right there with him, not letting him go anywhere. Painting that tire onto the blue car's door. Nice onto the decel zone. No contact this time. Nice and smooth. Nazar taking a bit of lower angle approach as he transitions into the last corner. Nice and wide. Could be a bit deeper for Nazar, but that's a very good run.
We go switching it around now. Nazar leading off Creme. Will Nazar or will Creme be able to perform to the standards that Nazar did in the chase or better? Let's see. This will all show. You lose, you are out. Here we go, heading down the straight into that initiation. Very aggressive from Creme, right on that door. Best initiation so far, mimicking very well. Right on that door is Creme, not letting him get away. Transitioning bumper to bumper. On the line is Nazar. Ooh, a little bit of contact there coming from Creme, but it doesn't seem to have messed up Nazar too much. Not letting him get away at all is Creme, right on that door of Nazar. As I head through this zone, amazing line from Nazar, transitioning into here. Creme surging very well, getting right onto the door as they cross the finish line.
Ooh. That was a good run.
That was a really good, look at that initiation from Creme.
Yeah.
That's insane,
Oh.
very nice. Just didn't let him get away after it either.
Perfectly timed as well. Damn. Love that from Creme. Low contact, but that was okay. Dude, that's Sigma initiation. Alright. As I do have a decision, just gonna let this one run for a little bit. And it will be Creme moving on to top 8.
Yeah.
Or yeah, top 8 against the last Martian. Alright. Whoops. Where's my Google Sheet 2 zoomed in? There we go. Right, so top 8 battle. Creme against last Martian and Monster Girl against Devilish Crow again. Creme has to take all of them out. Off the line they go, and that is Nissan S15. What will he do? Nice initiation. Bit of a gap already created by last Martian, but Creme goes 2 tires off. No way, what an upset. Goes way out, tire dropping 2, and it will be, I believe, a 0 in his lead. Last Martian doesn't even need to chase this, but they're just gonna do it for their show. And that would be a big deduction for Creme up front. He's gonna hope for a mistake in Martian's lead. But yeah, unfortunate for Creme. I don't think there was any contact. I think that was just skill issue, to be honest.
Yeah,
Alright.
we're switching it around though. Now we're gonna have last Martian last Martian leading off Creme. How is this gonna go? Which driver will take it, heading down the straight toward that initiation. Creme in the chase, Last Martian in the lead. Lots of aggression from Creme. Last Martian, ooh, tire drop coming from Last Martian in there. Washing a little bit, but cleaning it up as they head towards this transition. Nice job from both drivers. They're a little bit shallow from that Supra, but here they go through the shallow section. Amazing job. On the way line, Creme right on his door, mimicking very nicely. And Last Martian just firing that thing through that zone as he backs off and surges very nicely. Is that S15, and they cross the finish line. That was very good. From both
Very good indeed, but unfortunately I believe the fate is sealed. The Creme going 2 tires off. Yeah, unfortunately it will be a quick one. I don't think we need to show that even. Creme just skill issuing in the first decel. Trying to send it way too hard. And so after beating his teammates, it will be last Martian and moving on to top 4. So he will be at least in top 4. Unfortunate for Creme losing in top 8, but good job, good effort. Let's take a look at our bracket so far. So yeah, Martian winning the group. And next up we're gonna have group number 2, which will be Reggie against JDM Fan, Ty against Dabe, Inky against Ernic, Banana against Lelay Butcher. Alright.
Unfortunately, though, Reggie does not seem to be showing up, so JDM Fan will have a bye run straight into top 16 against Dabe or Tai. So let's.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ritty needs to focus up on his studies.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool, yeah, no Ritty. Alright, so we're gonna take you through an ad break, give our marshal a time to piss, and we'll see you right back.
Heavy hitters in this group. Definitely going to be action packed here. Looks like JDM Fan getting a bye run against
Yep.
Reggie because Reggie did not show up. But then we're going to have Tai battling Dabe here
Oh.
at the line. Tai leading off Dabe. How will this go?
Oh, I fucked up. Alright. Tai in the lead, Dabe in the chase. Yars against Subaru Forester. Forester, whatever you say it.
Two unique cars.
Yeah, Yar is kind of coming up the meta. The Forester, also a very good car, very grippy up front. Or in the front.
Up front.
In the front, like, hey, front grip, you know, hey, shut up. Alright, off the line they go, Tai in that lead position. How will Dabe do with that very small car? Nice initiation, right on put onto the door goes Dabe as Tai maybe drops the tire into the first outer zone. Making his way around very shallow line into the third, transitioning into the fourth. Dabe giving him room to maneuver. Nice dive from Dabe onto the door of that small Yaris. As he makes his way around the decel zone, nice and smooth. No correction from both drivers. Onto the door, a little bit of contact.
Chase.
Giving him a bit of a tap to let him know he's right there with him. And he is onto the door, painting that tire onto the door. Amazing run. Typical tire choke. He didn't choke, did he? Oh, he tire dropped, I mean, yeah.
Who said
What
that?
he means.
Not
I
looking
don't
at the
know.
chat.
The wild guy.
Oh, wild. We're supposed to get around though. Now, Tai chasing Dabe. Here they go, heading down the straight. Dabe in that initiation, Tai right there with him on that door. Dabe holding a smooth line so far. Tai not letting him get away in that Yaris. Here we go, transitioning bumper to bumper as Tai surging right onto the door of Dabe. As the Dabe and Tai head through that shallow section. Very consistent job from both of these drivers. No major mistakes so far as they head through this tight section of the track. Tai backing off as he should be doing and then transitioning and surging. Ooh! Tire drop coming from Dabe in the lead. Unfortunate. I think you would have had a little more of a chance against him if he did not have that last
Tai
drop.
also did a drop. But was it because of the Oh, was it a drop? Oh, that's close.
Is there, like, did it disconnect from the line?
I don't know. On Tai's lead first corner, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Thing is, like, there's like, I don't know. I'm loving that his profile. All train goes hard. Yeah. Reren. Oh no. We're gonna watch it on the left side. Tai in the lead. This question is, I don't know, dude. I have no clue. We'll see what the judges say. Gonna review the clip, review the footage. And yeah, tire from Dabe, totally uncaused by, not caused by the chaser, I mean. It could be on the line. Then does take a shallower line in Tai's lead. Dabe goes all the way out. Position here. Proximity is about the same, I would say. No major mistakes here. Yeah. Tough. That's gonna be tough for the judges. Thank God we're not up there.
Yeah.
Alright, as I think he might have found the decision. Will it be a one more time? Or will someone move on to top 16 against the JDM Fan? Alright, and we do have a decision. Okay, and Tai moving on to top 16. Congratulations to Tai. And unfortunate for Dabe, tie dropping on the outer zone was the end of his fate. That doesn't make sense. What? Alright, next up on the line we have we're gonna have Inky and Ernic battling it out. Inky will give lead, Ernic will give chase. Do I have to? Okay. Alright. Oh, that's so fucked up when they have PNG backgrounds. I hate that. Alright, Ernic in the lead. Sorry, in the chase. Alright, Inky in the lead, Ernic in the chase, firing the RCF into the initiation. Nice and wide goes Inky as Ernic takes up very shallow line. Inky needs to use that lift brake to settle that car into the wide line. Or is that just his brakes, how they look? No, they was on. Okay, Ernic doing a very good job behind in the chase, mimicking the angle and line perfectly as he makes his way around the decel zone. Nice and smooth decel. Oh, and Ernic, big angle, almost spinning out, but keeps it under control. Transition for the last corner of the track. Onto the white line goes Inky. Amazing lead up front for Ernic to chase. Alright.
Switching it around now, Ernic's going to be leading off Inky. Ernic, a little bit of a sloppy chase it seemed in that first part of the battle, but will it be cleaned up by Inky's chase and perform a little bit better? Let's see. Off the line, Ernic in that S15 leading off that RCF towards that initiation. Right on the doors, Inky surging very nicely, pushing him around that track. Amazing job in the chase there from Inky and lead from Ernic. Transitioning here, Inky getting right onto the door of Ernic as they're heading through the shallow section of the track. Right there with him is Inky as they head towards the decel zone, surging very nicely onto that door is Inky as Ernic does a very nice job through that zone. Transitioning here, getting into that next outside zone. Painting the line through here is Ernic, and Inky is right there with him.
Dude, Inky is on one tonight.
Yeah.
Bro has to prove something. Holy shit, that was a crazy chase. Pushing him everywhere almost. And I believe I have an opinion on this one. Look at that chase from Inky. Does get a good lead from Ernic up front, which gives him a good opportunity to chase down. Look at that transition onto the bumper. Dives right up onto the door. Amazing run and amazing track for these battles. I love the new livery for Inky. Is that the new Devilish livery, I'm guessing?
No, it's just Inky doesn't run the team liveries sometimes. I guess.
Supposed to be original. Alright. They're just taking a fine look at this one. I'm not gonna touch this one. Okay. Alright. Judges are really discussing about this one. Really paying attention to everything to give a fair call. This might take a bit. I don't know if there's any big mistakes they're gonna be looking at. Maybe go OMD. I think he wants to go one more time. Does that mean he's not confident in his run?
No, that means he wants to run it back because Ernic didn't do so good. You know, doing him a favor.
Oh. Alright. Judges are still watching their replays. Our Marshal giving his opinion. Think he... Wait, where's their contact? Wait, where? Where's the contact? Do you see any contact? I don't...
I mean, Inky was so close, it's hard to tell if there really was contact or
yeah.
not.
I don't think there was contact anywhere. I'm looking on the runs. Yeah, Marshall is just on drugs, you know. He is fat. He is probably eating. So yeah, there's no contact for me. Like if you're talking about first outer zone champ, they didn't even bother Ernic. He was still in it, still on the white line. So all right, interesting. Gonna have a split decision, and it will be a one more time. So one vote going for Inky and two going for OMT. So we're gonna send them again back onto the line. All right. Who am I on? Alright, so Inky giving lead again. Ernic in the chase. Need to clean it up. Need to have a better lead. And Ernic is gonna throw everything at it. Off the line they go. Through those chicane cones. And the RCF. Firing the RCF into the initiation. Nice and big handbrake. Disa for Inky as Ernic goes right up onto the door. Nice make of line from Ernic, but needs to apply more pressure. Needs that proximity onto the RCF. Now dives into the transition. Very good job from Ernic. Tapping that door of that RCF. Into the shadow section he goes. A bit of a shallow line from Inky in the lead, but good job from Ernic right there with him onto the transition. He goes bumper to bumper, needs to dive into the door, and yes he does, applying that pressure onto the RCF and across the line. Definitely a better run from the battle number one. Alright.
Get around though, now we're gonna have Inky chasing Ernic. How is this half of the battle gonna go? Will there be any mess ups from these drivers? Here we go, down the straight. Ernic leading off Inky into initiation. Nice job from both drivers. Ernic on a good line through here, painting the white line. Inky not letting him get away as it seemed, backing off for that transition. Surging right back onto his door is Inky as he's right with Ernic through that shallow section of the track. Ernic shallowing up an angle through there, painting the line, nearly dropping, but on just such a good line. Ooh. Unfortunate for Ernic, having to like mess up a little bit there. Might have messed with the chase driver. I know the judges do not want to see any screwing with the chase driver.
Yeah, that was a weird mistake. I don't know what that was. Definitely a cleaner battle can give a decision on this one, I believe. Honestly, the mistake on the right side, did he... No, he just went off. There's no contact. He just went off and then... But then Inky's chase also had a tire drop on the second to last outer zone. Might have had a tire drop. I am not sure at all. It's gonna be a hard one to judge again. Inky does go a bit deeper in a few zones than Ernic. Proximity is about equal on both runs here. Ernic goes deeper in that zone. Desal zone, there's that tire drop from Ernic. Inky might have been on the line. Here, good dive from Inky on the chase. Oh, a tire drop on the last outer zone from Inky I saw. Oof, lots of mistakes. Will it be an upset? Will the 20th qualifier be the 5th place qualifier? It's gonna be interesting. Yeah, let's see if there's a tire. There's a tire drop here. Yeah, here there's one, and then there's another one. Was there? I don't think there's contact. So, indeed. Alright, and we will have a decision from our judges. It will be Ernic moving on. Ernic moving on and winning that battle against Inky. Moves on to top 16, so it will be an upset. Inky getting knocked out, unfortunately for Inky. As next up, our last battle with top 30 for this group will be Banana UK against Zedi Butcher. Is Zedi in the lobby? He is. Alright. We have Banana in that Toyota Mark II GX 110 against Zedi Butcher in the same car. Ratatata against no team. An old powerful crew member. How will he do? Alright, off the line they go. Nice livery from Zedi and Banana. Ooh, aggressive initiation from Zedi Butcher as he goes run to the door. Tire dropping goes Banana off the second outer zone. Now gives him room to maneuver, maybe too much room, but they are very long cars. Dives onto the door into the fourth outer zone. Nice and deep goes Banana. Maybe 280 tire drops off the white line as Zedi Butcher gives him room, takes a safe chase, knowing he saw those mistakes. Gives him room to transition in that long boat. Nice and wide goes Banana as Zedi Butcher dives in, applies the pressure and across the line. Ooh, these cars are very long. It's crazy they're even managing to transition.
Yeah, especially on a tight track like this, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Where they go off the line. Zedi leading off that
Ooh.
Banana UK JDX into that initiation. Amazing job so far from Banana, right there with him on his door, mimicking very nicely. Zedi holding down a solid lead so far, transitioning. Ooh, almost a drop from those drivers, but Banana surging onto that door, mimicking very nicely through this section of the track towards that decel zone. Banana staying right there with him, not letting him get away as he backs off to surge right onto Zedi's door, but he gets a little bit of contact there. Unfortunate for whoever was at fault for that.
Yeah, interesting.
I
Lots of
guess
contact.
Banana just was not being cautious enough.
Yeah. I want to see that transition on the right side from Banana and Zedi. I'm okay, hard to tell from those camera POVs, but alright, as we do have a decision from the judges, and yeah, with those contacts, unfortunately, Banana may be applying too much pressure onto that car, and Zedi Butcher takes the win, moving on to top 16. Congratulations to Zedi, and unfortunate for Banana UK. Alright, moving on to our top 16, we're gonna have Ty against JDM Fan, and after that we'll have Zedi Butcher against Ernic. Alright. Oh, whoops. Forgot to take. My bad, brethren. I forgot. Alright, Ty giving lead, JDM Fan giving chase. Supra against Yaris. America against Great Britain. Who will take the win? Ty off those chicane stars, initiating in the first corner. Nice and wide. Maybe a bit of a shallower line. JDM not playing the most pressure as he needs to get onto that door of that small car. Transitioning down to the fourth outer zone. Nice and wide goes Ty. JDM struggling a bit with the pace in that Yaris. Maybe not having the most grip in that Supra. As he makes his way into the D-South zone. Nice and deep goes Ty, doing his job, qualifying run right here. JDM transitioning into the bumper, needs to dive in, does dive in, but will it be enough? Will it be enough pressure for JDM Fan?
Switching it around now, we're gonna have JDM Fan leading off. Ty coming from MM1 in that Yaris. A little bit of difficulties here. Maybe Ty's just getting a run up, you know?
Oh. Collisions.
Yeah, but
where's smoke? Smoke no here, so we can see tire drops. I guess you could do little bit smoke, but there's no point. But yeah, so we can see. I want to see more the tires, the mistakes.
Here we go. In that initiation, Ty right there with him as JDM Fan holds a nice line through here. Ty mimicking very well. Seems like he's playing a little bit safe at the transition. Ty surging onto that door of that Supra, and that Supra holding a nice line. A little bit of correction from the lead driver as they go into this zone. Ooh, maybe a tire drop from the leader as they go through the tight section of the track. Backing off the transition is Ty as he surges right back onto that door, and then heading through this last zone and across the finish line.
Unfortunate, I believe that was a tire drop for JDM Fan, not caused by the chaser or anything, so I believe I didn't see any mistakes from Ty in the lead or chase. So yeah, just JDM sending it way too hard into the decel. Other than that, does give him a very nice lead to chase. Nice big angle everywhere. The judges are taking a look on this one, so there might be more that we didn't see. Alright. What will the judges say? Alright, yeah, we do have a decision from our judges. And it will be Ty from MN1 Drift Team moving on to top 8. Congratulations to Ty, unfortunately for JDM, but did make it into top 16, so congrats. I guess that was a buy run, so. Alright, moving on to our second top 8 battle. We're gonna have Lelay Butcher against Ernic. Bop. Alright, both drivers on the line, ready to go. Both against S15. Lelay Butcher lining up onto the start line. Ernic ready to send. Shaking them tires. Off the line they go. Firing those cars down the straight. Taking all the track as he initiates. Nice and wise Lelay Butcher. Ernic doing as much as he can in the chase to apply the pressure. Ooh, bit of a title from Lelay Butcher into others number 3. Transitioning around, Ernic needs to apply pressure as he does paint that tire onto the door of that purple JZX 110, making his way onto the decel zone. Nice handbrake from Ernic as he's allowed to in the chase. Nice correction, or nice, sorry, tap from Ernic as he transitioned into the last corner. Nice and deep. Lelay Butcher doing a very smooth job up front. I can breathe now, yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
Right, switching them around.
Yeah, switching around. Now we're gonna have Ernic leading off Lelay.
Sleepy, sleepy.
Here we go, off the line. There's Lelay heading in for that side-by-side initiation, getting right under the door of Ernic. Ernic on a nice line through here, painting the line. Amazing lead from Ernic so far. Lelay definitely lagging behind a little bit, it seems. But transitioning here, Ernic, nice job. Lelay, whoa, a little bit too aggressive there, it seems. Correcting in the chase. Lelay definitely needs to clean things up as they head through that decel zone. Surging onto that door very nicely is Lelay as Ernic gives him a nice lead to chase. Through this last turn they go. Into that last zone is Ernic as they fuck bro, I'm stuttering so bad. I didn't eat for like 2 days, bro. I didn't drink water for like 2
You're
days,
lying.
bro.
You're lying,
Nah,
bro.
I am lying, obviously, bro. The fuck, I'd be fucking dead if I didn't eat for 2 days.
Isn't it 3 days and then you die?
I don't know, bro.
I think you can survive like 3 days without eating. 3, isn't it? Oh no, there's like a rule. We'll move on. Lelay Butcher doing mistakes in the chase, unfortunately. And Ernic doing a good job up front in that lead position. Almost sending it too hard, but makes it around the first corner. Lelay does have a tire drop in his lead onto outrun 3. Where did Lelay fuck up? Here? Yeah, he like, whoa, what the fuck was that? like handbrake, like foot brake to in the transition on the chase. Who will be against Ty from MN1? Who will it be? Is Lay Butcher or Ernic? Or will it be a one more time? I hope not. Oh wait, is it still doing that? Where do I go? Here? It doesn't be good. Alright. Just taking a look at their replay. Wait, let me make sure I spot it. Output Twitch VOD. That's only number 1. Wait, is it? Oh shit. Yeah, okay. It's like rule of 3. 3 days no water, 3 weeks no food, 3 minutes no air, and 3 hours no shelter in extreme heat or cold. Yeah, that's what it was. I knew there was something like that. I remember it. Or, well, I don't remember it fully, but yeah. 3 weeks no food is crazy, bro. Champ cannot do that. Champ could not survive that long. Actually, with the stored fat, maybe he could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He'd survive longer than us.
3 days no water? That's crazy, dude. Champ wouldn't last a day. They're just really taking a look at this one. I'm guessing they're watching Ernic's lead, maybe, because of the... I don't know if that was, like, caused by Ernic. Why is Champ giving his fucking opinion? Champ, we don't care. Champ, you're not a judge, we don't care. Bro said, Ernic won, no? Question mark? I think Ernic, to be honest. Yeah, but he was like shit. This guy. I mean, I could go OMT and give our judges a cleaner run to judge. As yeah, both leads were messy. Alright, and we do have a decision. Was Champ right or was he wrong? And he was right. Ernic takes the win and moves on to top 8 against a tie. Congratulations, Ernic. Unfortunate for his Lay Butcher, but good job on making it on this far. As we're gonna move on to our top 8. Where is he? Tie Ernic. There we go. Alright. Ernic will give... Oh. Ty will give lead, sorry, and Ernic will give chase. Off the line they go. Yaris against S15. Let's see how they do. Nice initiation from Ty. Ernic right there with him, giving him room. But now applies the pressure onto the door. Ooh, and maybe struggling a bit with that pace in the Yaris. As he transitions to outer zone 4. Nice and deep goes Ty. Ernic applying pressure now. Painting that tire onto the door of the MN1 livery. Nice and wide from Ty. It goes through the decel zone. Ernic giving him room to breathe. Needs to transition onto the bumper as he goes for the last corner. Low to that door. Struggling a little bit of contact almost. And across the line. Whoops. What the fuck am I doing?
Switching it around though, now we're gonna have Ernic leading off Ty. A little bit of a sloppy chase from Ernic. Ty could have been deeper in some places of the track. But let's see. Will there be any major mistakes from either driver in the second half of this run?
It's a big ass run up. There's no way he's actually gonna do that run up. Okay. No way. No way.
I respect that. That's normal.
Okay.
Well, here we go, though. Ernic, in that initiation tie right on the door of Ernic, mimicking very nicely. Ernic almost dropping a tire, but not all the way there. As I head through that zone, transitioning is tie bumper to bumper, surging very nicely onto Ernic's door. Heading through here, shallowing up on angle is Ernic. And into the shallow section tie on his door, though. Right there with Ernic, not letting him get away at all. Ernic, amazing job through there. Was that his drop? I don't know. But here they go. Through this last transition, heading towards this last zone. Tie could be a tad closer, but I don't know if that mistake coming from Ernic might have caused Tie's
Yeah.
slip up.
Interesting. This is top 8 battle of the group number 2. So group 2, top 8. We'll then be moving into group 3, which is a very big group. Gonna be a huge group. Very good battles, I hope. Was there a drop here? Let's see. Ty almost pushed him, I think. On the right side in the high angle part of the track. Ty gave him like a little bit of a ass bump. If that's a thing even. Did Ernic decel after the decel? Let's take a look. Did he? Let's see. Decel zone. He doesn't look to be on throttle to me. I don't know if it's just me, maybe. Could be. I don't really have the inputs. I guess I could. Could I?
Well, I'm gonna head out.
Alright, yep, see you. Alright. We're gonna like Koi practice alone. And I'll be taking over alone. Just having their stream open. Imagine I join stream and Ty doesn't win. No. You wanna commentate, Damien? Get in here, bro. I'll drag you up in here, no bongs. Think I'm good? Wow, no balls. Get in there, Damien, yeah. Or Wild. You could join Wild. I just need an American guy, bro. They have so much like love, you know, or like what's the word? Energy, yeah. Come on, Wild. You know you sold that sim rig. Oh, I know you sold that sim rig. Wait, what? Huh? I don't know what he's on about. Come on, Wild. Join public VC, I'll drag you. Or private, I don't know if you have private. Yep, Judge is taking a very good look at this one. You wouldn't know, Salad. Oh. Wait, huh? Wait, so Damien sold a sim rig? No way. Get Twist to help. I'm about to go finish putting up a new fence. Oh. Okay. Alright, and we do have a decision from our judges. After a very long discussion time. And it will be Ty moving on to top 4 against last Martian. So congratulations to Ty, unfortunate for Ernic. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this group. Oh come on, Wall, get in there, Lamau, yeah. Or is this Brian Drift? I don't know who this is. Alright, let's take a look at our bracket so far. Here we have it. Tie against last Martian 4 or top 4. And we're gonna do a little bit of an ad break and see you in a few minutes. Sure, I'll allow it. Alright, we are back. Hello, welcome back everyone to our group number 3. As I have a new commentator, will be Zulu. Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hell yeah, an OG of the drifting world from CarX, Team Deviant, crazy. Alright.
OG in general at this point.
True.
GOG, grumpy old git. Like my cars.
Yeah. So group 3, we're gonna have Mix NG against Sky, Mafu against Ner, Wazi against Cassie, and Zedi against Picus. Alright. On the line. How do you want to do this? I do like one run and the other one with Koi, but it's up to you. We can do like you choose.
I don't mind, mate.
I
If
don't
you're
know.
not speaking, I'm happy to.
Okay, we can do one run each then. Yeah, we can.
Sure.
Alright, so Sky giving lead for the first run, Mix and sorry, wrong side. Mix and you giving lead and Sky giving chase. MN1 against Team Ratata. And then S2K against another S15. Sub old fuck. Wow, Damien called you an old fuck. Alright, off the line they go. Mix and G in that S2K. Nice initiation from Mix. As Sky is right there with him already, applying pressure onto that yellow car. Good lead from Mix, painting that line onto the tire. The tire onto the line. Sky transitioning, giving him room to maneuver, taking a bit of a shallower line. As he makes his way around the shallow section of the track, Mix and G doing his good job in the lead. Very smooth and controlled driver. Sky applying lots of pressure onto Mix's door, giving him room to transition, room to breathe. As he goes onto the door into the last outer zone and across the line.
Yeah, so if I can comment on the chase a little bit. Sky actually didn't quite match line in quite a lot of places there. So I think for me, there's an edge to Mix after that lead.
Yeah.
After that first run there.
I think we can do that. I like talk in the run, then you can like whatever. Okay, Sky off the line he goes. Mix in the chase. Very aggressive initiation from Sky. He goes onto the white line. Could have been a tire drop, but I'm not sure. Mix putting a lot of pressure onto the S15's door. Nice and quick snappy transition from Sky up front. As Mix goes right onto the door, looks for the pressure, and he does apply the pressure onto the diesel. He goes almost contact, but keeps it safe and clean. Ooh, tire drop from Sky this time. Yeah, as he transitions into the last outer zone and across the line.
Yeah, so Sky had a very nice first corner there. After his transition, he actually bumped down a few gears and slowed up quite a bit. It did get him back on the line for the sort of wider run out to the right hand side through zones 4, 5, 6. But I think Mix there had a much better mimic of the lead line.
Yeah.
Much more, or much closer to where Ratata Sky's tire marks were, and much better matching of angle as well.
Definitely.
I'd be surprised if this doesn't go to Mix. Also, was that Damien called me an old git?
Yeah, he said sub old fuck, and then he said just kidding, just kidding.
Sub old fuck. I'm coming for you, Damien.
All right, yeah, it will be Mix moving on to top 16. Congratulations to Mix, and I believe he might be already a championship winner. I'm not sure, but he might be with all the points he has. I didn't really do the calculation, but he did. But
So we've got Mafu and
all right,
some big Japanese saloons battling it out.
a crown. That's rare. It's either Yakuza or like Chaser, but crown. Never seen that compete. All right. Mafu in the lead, Ner in the chase. Monster Girl against Good Ride. What what will they do? Holy shit.
Ooh, contact,
very wide. Ooh, a contact. I didn't see that, but yeah. Tied up from Mafu as Ner gives him room to transition, gives him space with that long car. Now applies the pressure onto the door of Mafu. Mafu doing a good job up front, taking all those boxes, taking a bit of a shallower line in the outer zone. Now makes his way on the tire part of the track. On the white line goes Mafu. And they're giving him room, waiting a long time as it's a very long car. Making his way around the last outer zone and across the line.
Yeah,
That'd be so annoying to
that
chase.
Run was so much cleaner.
Yeah.
That car goes on for days. I do feel a bit sorry for him having to give so much space on those transitions. He did a good job of getting back up on the doors though, so
Yeah.
we'll see how this lead goes.
Alright, switching them around. Yeah, so I believe Mix is already a champion, so this is just for
fantastic.
bragging rights.
Congratulations, Mix.
Yeah, congratulations. Seeing your crown in the competition setting is wild. Yeah, it is. Very interesting. Alright, off the line they go. Mafu in the initiation. Very aggressive, almost pushing him off on the track as Nerd goes very wide. Tire drops onto outer zone number 3. Now transitioning, Mafu needs to apply the pressure onto that RCF. Does. Ooh, a little bit of surging forward from Mafu, but not making the line. And as now he mimics the line into the decel zone. Nerd doing a good job up front into that tighter part of the track. And now Mafu needs to wait a long time as he gives him room for that long car, and across the line they go.
Yep. A few points there, I think. Nair's lead line was very conservative in a number of places. He was not fully fulfilling the zones, which I think was the cause for the contact from Mafu. There was contact in first corner and contact in after the decel.
Okay.
Tough one to call that, actually. Slightly odd lead line, but there's no excuse really for the chase ever to contact.
Yeah. I did a VIP build. What the fuck is it? That would be a car Wildwood drive. It's pretty good. Okay, I believe you. Not you, because you got tuning. Talking about Damien. Damn, Damien. Shots fired. Damien doesn't know how to tune.
Yeah, it's a typical sort of long wheelbase car. It's very stable.
Yeah.
You have to be careful with how you tune it to get enough response. Certainly for your transitions as well. You have to force it around and throw it a bit. But a lot of people like that, so definitely a car worth playing around with.
I think I have used it actually. Because the Yakuza was nerfed, so I used this as a replacement.
Yeah.
It's
I think
nice.
you have, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. I think the
Definitely
only
more on
like
the classic sides of the Toyota
yeah, the only one I don't like is the Cresta, because like I just don't know how to tune the suspension. It's so bouncy.
bikes.
I was just gonna say, it seems like it would take a day and a half to come around on transition. Yeah, it does. What the hell? Who the fuck is that? Hello, I'm currently trying to lose weight, but I don't know if I should stop eating frikandellen broodje.
I don't know what that is. Something
I
Dutch?
also don't know if cars is good or bad. Any feedback is helpful, bro. This is a a car X competition. I don't think you're in the right place.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm not a dietitian, I'm afraid. Sorry.
As we do have a decision from our judges, and it will be Mafu taking the win. So longboats.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. Longboat moving
They
on.
must have decided then that actually the errors in the line from the lead were enough to mean the contacts, or enough to mitigate the contacts from Mahu in the chase.
Yeah. All right. Getting a bit of a technical issue with one of the judges, but he is back. As we have our next battle, who will be Wazzy against Cassie. Eat the free Kandelenbroodje if you love it. Just don't go wild and maybe chill on the daily carbs, but don't cut them out completely. You'll still need them.
I quite like Wazzy's livery, to be fair. Not a style you see much of. More of a sort of Japan street style.
It's interesting. Alright, Wazzy
we
off
go.
to the line. S15 battle. Cassie in chase. Initiate nice and aggressive as Cassie goes right up onto the door. Does back out a little bit, but Wazzy does a good job in the least, keeping his composure. Whoa! A little bit of lag. Doing a 360 fake as Cassie keeps it on the door. Wazzy unfazed by that fake. Does do his job in the lead. Ooh, a little bit of contact, I believe, and Cassie spinning out almost as he makes his way around the transition into the last corner. Wazzy with the tire drop. This is a very messy run. As my mother is calling me on my phone. Why is she calling me? What the hell?
I didn't see contact in the decel teardrop, but Wazzy's line was not great. He came quite a long way inside, off of the white line, which is where obviously you want to be at all times on this track if you can be. Maybe put Cassie off a little bit, but we'll see how Cassie deals with it in his lead.
Alright, off the line they go. It won't be a rerun, so Cassie in the lead. Wazzy in the chase now. Nice initiation from Cassie, goes all the way wide, uses all that track, but does take a bit of a shallow line into outer zone 2. Was doing a good job in the chase, giving him room to breathe as he transitioned into the shallow section of the track. Looks for that door, almost doesn't have the pace, but keeps it here. Mimics the line nice and wide as Cassie goes into the desal zone, into the tighter part of the track. Wazzy on that left foot brake to let him transition. Dives onto the door, into the second to last outer zone and across the line.
Yeah. Overall, actually, I think a better lead from Cassie there. I think he was far more consistent. There were sort of fewer micro corrections with gear changes and left foot braking. I think Wazzy did a better chase though, which feels a bit harsh given how laggy Cassie's chase was.
Yeah, average Carrick's moment. We're used to it by now, so.
Yeah. Style
All
360
right.
points. Yeah, and Cassie did almost completely lose drift there.
Alright, as we
Over-rotated.
have. Yeah. We have a winner, so yeah, obviously Wazzy taking the win, moving on to top 16. Congratulations. Moving on to our next battle, will be Zedi against Picus. And Zedi will give a lead Picus in chase. RCF against S2K.
You could barely have two more different sized cars.
Yeah. Actually, like a
Unless maybe that
Yakuza and
Crown was
S2K.
in there.
Yeah, Crown, yeah. Alright, off the line they go, firing those cars down the straight. Very shallow line from Picus behind him, but Zedi does a very good job using all the track, painting that tire onto the white line. Picus transitioning right onto the bumper of Zedi. Now applies the pressure, now makes the line. I guess really easy to make the line, but he doesn't redo it. He takes a shallower line. Zedi doing all he needs to do, doing that qualifying line. Perfect lead over here in the tighter part of the track. Picus again diving onto the inside of the track. Judges don't really want to see that.
I have to say I'm not impressed with Picus's line and chase there. If you watch his rear tire marks, they only ever cross with Zedgi's in the transitions. Now, what you really want, the biggest flex you can do in chase, is the perfect mimic of the line. So your rear tires on the same marks as the leader, and he was so far from that. He was completely inside him.
Let's
The
see if
whole
Zedi
time,
can
but
do a
here we
better
go.
job. Very groupy S2K using an SR20. Interesting setup from Picus as he goes onto the first corner. Zedi making the line nice and wide, gives him room to transition as he dives onto the door of the S2K. Very good job, very aggressive from Zedi, and makes the line way better this time as he goes on onto the desal zone. A little bit of correction from both drivers, using that left foot brake to sell the car. Onto the white line goes Picus, transitioning onto the bumper, dives for the last outer zone. Good job from Zedi, way better.
Really good lead, actually. I am impressed with that lead from Picus. I think he actually fulfilled the zones and stuck very close to the white lines. Much better job in chase though from Zedi for me. If again looking at where his rear tires were in comparison to the S2Ks, and it's not just about the difference in wheelbase length. It was a much better mimic.
And yeah, Mick of angle also better because I think Picus was kind of shallow, and Zedi was just mimicking it way better.
Yep.
Alright. And it will be Zedi moving on to top 16. Congratulations, Zedi. Yeah, kind of obvious on this one.
Now we've got this
Oh
mix
god.
of small and big
Oh
cars.
god. This is gonna be interesting. Alright, let's see how this goes. We have Mix and G in the lead against Mafu in the chase. Tiny car
Mix's
against
roof.
What?
Sorry, dude. Go on.
Oh, all good. Okay, it's fine. Alright, Mix initiating in the first corner. Nice and wide goes Mix and G onto that qualifying line as Mafu goes onto the door. Look at that size difference. Mafu gives him room to transition. Nice lead from Mix and G, painting that tire onto the white line, onto the outer zone. And Mafu taking a shallower line, even with the longer wheelbase. That is a shallower line to me at least. A little bit of contact pushes him around the track into the tighter part of the section, the track. Mix doing good job in the lead, and Mafu again applying lots of pressure, lots of grip in that long car.
3 little taps there from Mafu just to let Mix know that he's still there. But Mix's roof is barely above the door line of that crap.
Brian
I
said,
can see.
"Yeah, again, yet jet ski." It is, yeah. Big as a boat. It is
He prefers his
crazy.
jet ski.
Alright, Mix and Chase, how will he deal with a Mafu in the lead? Nice initiation from Mafu. Mix already applying lots of pressure. He can go anywhere onto the door. Has lots of choices. Now gives him room to transition. Waits for that transition. Nice and wide goes Mafu, and Mix and G right there with him applying lots of pressure, making angle and line. Into the desal zone. They go. Mafu desaling barely. Ooh, and a tire drop from Mafu up front. Yeah, it is, I believe. Mix and G gives him room to transition in the very scuffed part of the track and across the line.
And this is where you see the intricacies of running a small car against big cars. Now, Mafu, like Mix can pick either at the front or the back door to stick his nose to on Mafu. But again, if you look at the rear tyre lines, he was actually taking a relatively inside line there.
Oh, yeah, true that. I see here. I mean, here's making better. But yeah, I see what you mean, yeah.
After the transition, it's hard to be right on the tyre lines again, but through the zones, is it 5 and 6 here? This is where it is much easier to be actually mimicking that line.
Alright. We do have a decision. It will be Hamster moving on. Taking the win, moving on to top 8. Congratulations to Mix, unfortunate for Mafu.
Excellent. Now we have Wazzy and Zedi again.
Yep. Zedi. I swear to God, all the car we've seen is S2K Supra RCF S15. I hate this. I hate this.
Hey, what you need to do then, Salad, is run some special cars.
Yeah, but like, whatever. Initiating in the lead position goes Wazzy, taking shallower line, but gets the outer zone number 2. Paints that wine line on 3, and Zedi in tow. Good chase from Reggie. Good mimic. Good mimic of the line, and perfect angle matching from Zedi as Wazzy take a very shallow line into outer zone 6 and 7 or whatever this is. Zedi looks for that door in the tight section of the track. Transition onto the bumper of Wazzy, makes his way around the last outer zone across that line.
Yeah, so Wazzy didn't quite get his transition right, so he lost a little bit of speed and depth through the next few zones after that transition. Good mimic from Zedi though. I think a lot of people would start pushing you around the track at that point, but really good that he gave him the space, gave him the respect, and a good initiation here from Zedi. Contacts there, I think. A tire drop just in the correction. Good transition from both. You see there again that sort of slightly wider transition or slightly shallower transition that the chaser needs to take. Angle matching, but not particularly good line there from either of them, and a big cut from Wazzy after the second transition.
All right, yeah, that was
not the cleanest battle.
Yeah, not the cleanest. Yeah, was he just cutting line in lead and chase? Unfortunate.
Both of them have that transition timing dialed in. It just seems like it's a bit of a difference in, I don't know if it was wheel speed. Maybe Wazzy had the wrong gear and that didn't get him the momentum he needed to keep it wide after that first transition.
Alright, Zedi moves on. Zedi takes the win. Unfortunate for Wazzy with all those mistakes. Gets knocked out of top 16. And we're going to see Zedi for the top 8 battle against Mix and G. Oof. Good luck to... Oh.
Shit.
It's okay. I know technology is hard. It's okay. You got it.
I was trying to type to Mix to distract him in chat.
Oh. Alright, Mix and G will give lead Zedi in the chase. RCF against S2K. Zulu playing with Mix's mental as they go off the line through the chicane cones. Initiating nice and deep goes Zedi and Mix. Nice mimic of the line from Zedi. Lots of pressure mimicking that angle nicely from Zedi as he transitioned into the 4th outer zone. Mix doing his job on the white line. Very consistent driver, very controlled. Ooh, on the white line again as Zedi right there with him. Bit of a shallower line, but gets onto the white lines afterwards. Nice decel from both drivers into the transition. Onto the bumper goes Zedi, almost pushing him around the track and across the line.
That's exactly what you expect from Mix. Really
Yeah.
consistent, really smooth line. Yeah, that was good.
I mean, this guy
I
has
did
like...
tell him to 360 for the win, but he ignored me.
Wow. Into jump. Alright. How many round of VDL you guys doing? 6. Alright. Zedi off the line, makes in chase. You're gonna need to apply a lot of pressure as Zedi was onto his door. Already glues it to him. Makes Zedi onto the door of Zedi's car, giving him room to transition. Onto the bumper goes Make Senji, now dives right back onto the door into the shadow section of the track. Right there with him goes Make Senji, but Zedi does a perfectly line up front, doing all those, getting all those check boxes. What? English. Make Senji transitions for the last corner, dives onto the door, look for that. I can't speak for that.
That's impressive from Zedi. He knows that Mix did a fantastic lead and said, "Watch this," and he's painted the line through a number of those zones. So yeah, really good battle that.
All right, that's gonna be hard for the judges.
Yeah, just watching back on the replay here, both of them are mimicking line and angle really well. Perhaps an ever so slight advantage to Mix in terms of where his rear tyres are, but always slightly difficult with cars of such different sizes. Really good leads from both of them. Well-timed transitions ever so slightly inside, but yeah, really good battle that. I'm not sure what the judges are going to make of it, whether they've seen any mistakes.
I have an interesting decision. And it will be Zedi taking the win. Zedi moving on. Big upset. Zedi takes the win and goes on to top 4. Makes knocked out in top 8.
Fair play.
Doesn't really matter. He's already
champion.
champion.
Make
so
a statement with that lead.
Yeah, lead was crazy from Zedi up front. Oh, Mix tire dropped. Okay. That's the reason. So Mix tire dropped. I don't know where, but he tire dropped. So, oh my God, Mix lost, bro. It doesn't matter. He's already champion. It doesn't matter at all, bro. All right. Here's our bracket. So Zedi taking the win. On to our last group. Who will be winner of that group? As we're missing a few drivers.
Koi, Legenda, Cinear B.
Yep.
Falstick, Malvis, Wendo, Complicated, and Dried.
Yep. He tire dropped in the shadow section. Alright. I believe the judges. So take a quick break, figure out our drivers as we're missing a few, and we'll see you in a few. We are back for our group number 4, last group of the night. On the line we have, we have Koi from Team Kaiju in the lead against Legenda from Team Elementrix in the chase. Another RCF S15 battle.
Yeah, do us a favor, guys. Next time you sign up for one of these rounds, bring something original.
Yeah, we're gonna nerf those cars to like 80 kPa probably.
Bonus points. Bonus points for something fun.
All right.
MX5s and 86s.
Yeah, off the line they go. Koi in the lead. Nice initiation from Koi. Legenda is right there with him onto the door, already applying the pressure, mimicking the line nicely from Legenda as he transitions onto the bumper. Koi doing a good job up front, giving him his door. Ooh, a bit of a tie drop from Koi up front and taking a shallower line. What is happening? Everything's falling apart for Koi from Team Kaiju as Legenda gives him room to maneuver, gives him time to transition, dives right back onto the door of that RCF and across the line.
Legenda timed those transitions really well.
Yeah,
you could see straight away he was back on the door. There was a bit of contact there, which I think led to a tie from Koi. But we'll see what happened in the replays.
Yeah, I didn't see the judges will have better POVs. I can't see shit.
The joys of streaming.
Yeah. Alright. Off the line they go through those chicane. Koi in the initiation in that chase. Legenda good initiation from up front. Shallower line from Koi and RCF behind him, but now gets onto his tire marks, gives him room to transition, times it nicely and dives right back onto the door. Ooh, tire from Legenda. Now he makes a mistake.
Yep.
Koi applies all the pressure onto that door, goes through the decel zone into the shallow part of the track. Very nicely timed from Koi. Waits for him, gives him time, and makes his way across the finish line.
Interesting. So bigger
Yeah.
tire drop from Legenda, with no contact from Koi, but I think overall slightly cleaner in terms of corrections, angle, speed management from Legenda in the lead. We'll see what the judges make of it. That's a tough one to call, actually.
Yeah. We'll see what the judges say.
Legenda slightly inside on his chase lines, but he did time those transitions very nicely.
Yeah.
Very nice first corner from Legenda in the lead as well there. Both on the door. Legenda maybe slightly more so on the door. Koi was more on the front wheel in his chase. That might be one of the factors that the judges are looking at.
All right. As we do have a decision. I'm gonna ask real quick, and it will be another hamster moving on. Koi takes the win, and it was because of the contact into the shallow section of the track. So there we go. Koi moving on. Legenda getting knocked out in top 32, unfortunately. As we move on to our...
I've just seen Kaiju Wild saying imp equals dad team now. I don't know about that. Oh dear.
That's crazy.
Followed up
Alright.
with a quick correction. Dead team.
As we have S15 battle Cinear against Falstick. Pretty cool liveries from both drivers as we see them off the line through those chicanes, firing those cars into the initiation. Ooh, bit of a shallow line, a little bit of contact has Falstick.
Yeah.
Very gripped up. Again, contact pushing him off the
More
track,
contact.
dropping a tire. Yeah, very aggressive, maybe too aggressive from Falstick. Throwing everything at it, but doesn't need to as he goes into
Very
the outer
shallow
zone.
line there in the chase as well.
Yeah, not mimicking the line at all. Cinear doing a good job up front, keeping his composure, waiting for the transition. Very nicely timed transition from Falstick, but will it be enough? Falstick, I don't know. Tough.
Interesting. You couldn't get two more different styles of livery, could you?
Yeah. Alright, off the
Same
line they
car,
go.
completely different looks.
Initiating.
Ooh,
Nice
nice
initiation.
dive from Cinear, but I think he checked up a little bit too much and comes inside on the chase there. I didn't see if Falstick dropped on that first outer. Good transition spacing from Cinear, but again slightly inside. Now he drops back onto the door through the decel. A couple of small corrections there from Falstick. Nicely timed transition again from Cinear, but maybe slightly offline.
I think leader had a few mistakes though.
Yeah.
Tire drops near the end. Shallow section took like shallower line in the lead. And in the chase also, yeah, I think Falstick might be at a deficit. Then here there's yeah, Cinear better in that zone. Tighter part.
I
About
think
equal.
Falstick matched angle slightly better throughout.
Yeah.
Cinear here really dives forward and knocks that front wheel of Falstick in the last zone.
Alright, as we have a decision. Absolute Cinear will take the win. The Silver Surfer moving on to top 16. Congratulations and unfortunate for Falstick. Alright. Next up we have Malvis against Wendo. Wendo, I don't know how you say it.
I mean, it's spelled Wendo.
Yeah, I would.
You've always
I don't
said
know.
it Wendo.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been told. I don't know. Just whatever.
If that's how he's told you to say it, I'll take that.
Alright, Malvis in the lead in the Nissan Silvia against the Super Mark IV. Nice initiation from both drivers. Wendo already onto the door, applying the pressure onto Malvis. Nice mimic of the line. Angle could be a bit more as he transitions into the fourth outer zone. Yeah, interesting checkup from the lead, but keeps on going. Wendo right there with him, pushes him off the track almost as he makes his way into the tight part of the track. Transitioning onto the bumper, dives right up in there onto the tire and across the line.
I don't know, there were a few moments there where Malvis was playing a lot with that clutch and you could see his car bouncing a little bit.
Yeah.
I think after the first transition he was actually completely off throttle for quite a long time. So I don't think the judges will look very favourably on that. Although Wendo with the contact as well, I think this one's in the balance, to be honest.
Alright, off the line they go. Who will make more mistakes? Nice initiation from Wendo up front. Ooh, and tire drops already. I jinxed it. Unfortunately for Wendo, as Malvis gives him room to maneuver, takes a bit of a safer chase, taking a shallower line, very shallow indeed from Malvis. Oh, I can't breathe. Wendo taking a very wide line, doing all he can in that lead position. Unfortunate mistake on Malvis as he waits for the transitions onto the bumper, goes through it and across the line. I need to drink.
Interesting. Yeah, so I think Wendo had less corrections in lead. I actually saw 69 degrees of angle after the decel there. We'll see what the judges say. Obviously, there were some slight hiccups in Malvis' lead. And in Wendo's chase as well. But yeah, we'll see what direction this goes in.
All right.
Yes, on the replays there, you can definitely see the difference in their chase after the first transition, specifically in where their rear tire marks are.
Yeah. Malvis like initiated the transition very early. I think that's what messed him up. Should have waited like another second and then dive onto the door.
Yeah.
That would have been way better.
Really good mimic from Wendo before the big decel. Then a slightly odd transition from both of them after the end of it. Again, much more up on that front wheel rather than mimicking the rear tires and the door.
Oh, you're watching on Twitch or the?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. I have on Discord if you want. There's like your list delay. All right. Because we do have a decision, and it will be a one more time. All right, second one more time of the night. Gonna see them go at it again, and yeah. All right. I mean, I'm all for it.
Okay.
So Malvis giving lead, Wendo in the chase. Off the line they go through those chicane cones. Initiates, Malvis goes. Wendo right up to the door already, applying the pressure. Gets onto the line. Good job from Malvis up front. Wendo transitions, nicely timed the transition, goes wide but catches up, grips up
right
onto that door. Yeah, lovely line. Bit of a shallow line up front from Malvis, but Wendo making it perfectly. Less of a contact this time from Wendo behind. Needs to wait for the transition and times it perfectly. Dives. Ooh, almost goes off, but keeps it on the track.
Couple of little nudges there from Wendo in the chase. But
didn't really bother the lead,
very
so
good
fine.
mimic, I think.
Let's see if Malvis can make the lead way better this time than his first battle. Alright, off the line they go. We'll see what Malvis does. Wendo just needs to do a clean lead up front as he goes into the first outer zone and the second. Malvis this time way better make of the line right onto the door. Will he do the transition? He does it perfectly. Ooh, on the line goes Wendo. Might have been a tire drop, but now takes a shallow line goes Malvis, pushing him around, giving him nudges as he goes into the desal zone. High angle from Wendo, maybe too much. Goes shallow, needs to left foot brake to settle that car into the zone. Malvis waiting for the transition, waiting for the timing.
Interesting. When playing with fire there, I don't know if those were drops or just very edge of the line.
I don't see. Could be drops, to be honest. Like here, oof. The transition, I think that's a drop on this fourth outer zone.
Yeah.
Fifth, hard to say with my angle, but yeah, Wendo, not the best lead up front.
No, I think Malvis fulfilled the zones slightly better, or certainly some of them in the latter half of the track. But both drivers matching angle through majority of the zones here. That's both of them have done a really good job on chase.
Yeah.
Slightly odd line from Wendo after the decel. He I think maybe he over slowed slightly.
I think so, yeah. Alright, yeah. That will unfortunately seal his fate, and Malvis takes the win. Moves on to top 16. Alright. Congratulations to Malvis. Unfortunate for Wendo with those mistake. Does give it a one more time, so good job.
Yeah.
Oh god. Next up.
Yakuza.
Yeah, Crown. I had a Crown against the Sylvia S15. Another long boat. Good ride esports against powerful crew. Who will it be? Complicated or Dried? Off the line they go, initiating in that first outer zone. Nice handbrake from Complicated onto the white line as Dried looks for that door, looks to apply the pressure, makes his way around the third outer zone, gives him time to maneuver. Nicely timed transition, dives right back onto the door of that S15 from Good Ride. Ooh, and gives him a little bit of a nudge, but Complicated is unfazed onto the white line through the desal zone as he makes his way into around the tighter section of the track. Transitioned for the last corner. Oh, and Dried getting gapped a little bit. Unfortunate for
Dried just mistimed that bit. I don't want to take anything away from Complicated though. He was painting the white lines for a good majority of that track. That was a fantastic lead. He gave Dried every opportunity to be on the door.
Yeah.
Just a couple of little errors from Dried, I think, there in the chase.
Alright, switching them around. Right in the lead, Complicated in the chase. How will he deal with the long car? Nice initiation from Dried up front. Complicated getting a little bit left in the dust, but applies the pressure right back onto the door. Ooh, in the very early transition goes Complicated. That's going to be interesting for the judges. As Dried does his job in the lead. Takes nice line, nice angle from Dried up front into the desal zone. Onto the white line goes Dried. Complicated getting left a little bit onto the outside line. Transitioning now, nicely done for Complicated and across the line.
Yeah, so I think slightly better chase in the last couple of zones there for Complicated. I would give Complicated the edge after his lead as well. I think that might be the big Toyota boat heading out, unless the judges have seen something that I haven't. Ooh, I wonder if that was a drop in the lead from Complicated after the decel.
No, let me see.
Such a nice first corner though.
Yeah.
Just riding that line. I think perhaps a slightly better first transition for Complicated in the chase as well. But Dried is doing a fantastic job there of mimicking the line.
I think he's on the line. There's like still bits of the tire on the line. Then
Just
shallow
a
outside
slightly
zone.
awkward last transition there for
Yeah,
Dried
yeah.
and Chase.
All right, as we do have a decision. And it will be Dried moving on to top 16. Only a tire
Really
drop
interesting.
from yeah, there's a tire drop from Complicated in that shadow section, so yeah. All right.
Ah, okay. They did see something we didn't then.
Yeah, there was the tire we did. I mean, it's hard to see from our POV, but yeah. All right. We have Koi in top 16 against Cinear B, Kaiju against BD Racing. Will it be USA or Latvia? Alright, off the line they go. That sausage car into that lead position. Initiates nice flick from Kaiju Koi up front as Cinear goes right up into the door, takes a shallower line, but applies the pressure. He's right there with him. Nice proximity, waits for the transition, maybe delays it a bit too long as Koi does a good job getting nudged by Cinear off the track, I think. It's hard to see from my POV, but yeah, Koi keeping his composure, keeping it safe, bringing it back. Cinear waiting for the transition right under his bumper as he makes his way around the last outer zone.
Yeah,
Koi.
so there definitely was contact. It felt much more like a nudge than a punt. I don't know if that would be completely responsible for the depth that Koi went off the track. We'll see what the judges think.
Alright. Koi with the jump start against Cinear's S15, flicking that car into initiation. Nice decide from Koi, already up onto the door. Very aggressive chase for Koi. Nice mimic of the line and angle. As he waits for the transition, Cinear doing a good job in the transition, using all that track onto the white line. Now angles down for the shadow section of the track, paints that tire onto the white line. Bit of a drop from Cinear up front as Koi, and pushes him around. Cinear maybe slowing down too much as Koi transitions right up into the bumper. Tire drop again for Cinear. Interesting.
Yeah, both of these guys are trying to let each other know that they're there in the chase. Nudges on both sides. I think perhaps 2 drops there from Cinear. As opposed to the 1 from Koi.
Yeah.
I think good chases on both accounts though. Nicely timed transitions early up onto the doors. Reasonable angle matching, and even through the sort of longer accelerating section after the transition. Good mimicking there.
All right. I'm guessing it's yep. All right, it will be Koi taking the win, moving on to top 8. Congratulations.
So the judges then did assign the fault for Koi's
I
tire
think
drop
so,
then.
yeah. There's a little bit of a nudge.
Yep.
All right. Who's next?
Got Malvis and Dried.
All right. So last top 16 of the night, we have Malvis in the lead, Dried in the chase. This is like the easiest track layout. It's easy in a way, but getting it like perfectly is kind of hard. It's like technical in its own ways.
Yeah.
All right, nice initiation from Dried, already mimicking the line nicely from Dried behind, but Malvis doing a good job up front. Ooh, and a very early transition from Dried as he dives onto the door. Malvis with a bit of a check up on the clutch, spamming the clutch a little bit, but Dried right there with him. Good proximity from Dried. Now in the details when they both go. Again, lots of angle from Malvis up front. Nice lead line up here. Ooh, almost contact, but Dried keeps it clean. Good job from Dried and Malvis.
Yeah, really nice. To go back to Smoker's comment, easiest layout. It's not actually. To get this consistent and fast and high angle is more difficult than it looks. There's a lot of speed moderation that you have to do. If you mistime your gear shifts, anything like that, there's a lot of ways you can mess up with this. I think especially if you look at something like Oman that we did earlier in the season. This is actually harder.
Ooh, and a very
But
early
sorry
transition
to
from
distract
Malvis.
from the...
It's okay, it's okay. Ooh, and a tire drop. Ooh, a big tire drop from Dry. I don't think it was caused by the chase driver. Let's see what the judges have to say about that. In the decel zone, they go nice wide line from Dry as Malvis waits for that car to transitions, giving him room, lots of room, and across the line. I think they both did the same transition in the fourth outer zone.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. I wanna take a look right here. Yeah, like he hello line. Dry does have a long car, so he has to deal with it.
Yeah, both good lines through the decel. Maybe slightly better through the decel from Dried in the lead.
All right.
Good chases in that latter half for both of them.
Yeah. You have a decision from the judges, and it will be Dried. Moving on. Moves on to our top 8 battle, and last top 8 battle of the night. And then we'll have our top 4. We're gonna have Koi giving lead to Dried. Oh,
Boy,
whoops.
in the hot dog car.
All right.
Yeah, I'm definitely just thinking.
USA against Belarus. I don't know what you call that in English. Belarusi, whatever. All right, off the line they go, initiating that car into the first corner. Nice initiation from Koi. Dried mimicking that line nicely, but needs to play a bit more proximity as he transitions into the fourth outer zone. Ooh, and a big checkup from Koi up front. Oh, I don't know if that was Koi's fault or Dried maybe sending it too hard. Now they go through the decel zone. Nice decel from Koi using all that track, painting the tire on the white line. Dried waiting for that transition. Very delayed transition, it seems like. Making his way around the last outer zone and across the line.
I wonder if Koi was off throttle after that transition. Because even with the contact from Dried, he throttled up immediately after that and didn't drop tires out. So
yeah,
need to see that on the replay.
Last top 8 battle before the top 4. Nice initiation from Koi onto the door. Dried painting that tire. Could be a tire drop. We'll see what the judges say. Needs to transition onto the bumper of that long Yakuza as he does. Put it right onto the door. Goes Koi. Nice make of angle, but line actually is okay. Good make of line from Koi. Goes through the decel. A little bit of a shaky decel from Koi. Dried not shaken. Very smooth the car as he transitioned for the last corner. Koi dives onto the door. Makes it away. Makes his way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
These long wheelbase cars can be so smooth. On the other hand, if you get it wrong, it's harder to correct.
Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. I think Koi wasn't on throttle because his car wasn't accelerating. So either like neutral drop or... Oh no, it was interesting. I'm gonna ask the judges.
Yeah, I'd like to see that once more, actually.
Yeah, I'll let you.
Here we go.
So left side.
Yeah, very nice first corner from Dried in the lead, but what we're interested in is after this transition for Koi's lead.
Yeah, he slows down hella.
Like he slowed.
Yeah. And because of that, it will be Dried moving on. Unfortunately for Koi, that will be his last stop. So Dried moves on to top 4, and we have our final 4 drawn out. So it will be... There we go. It'll be last Martian against Ty and Zedi against Dried. Oof. Alright. Park them up. Who's running still? Swear to God. Fucking... No, time it's... Okay, I thought it's gonna be Silo. Alright. Both drivers lined up, ready to go, ready to try and get a step on the podium. Both drivers ready. Judges are ready for this top 4 battle. Alright, off the line they go. Ty in the lead position in a very small car. Initiates nice and wide, dab of the handbrake to slow that car onto the white line. A little bit of a nudge from Martian behind. Very aggressive chase as Ty makes his way around the fourth outer zone. Ooh, maybe a tire drop from Martian in the chase. Could have maybe went too wide. As he now goes onto the door of Ty, mimics the line perfectly. Nice angle from Ty. Bit of a tire drop into the outer zone number 8. I don't know if that's it. Into the transition. Good transition from Martian and behind him. What is that? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I'm right. Alright, switching them around. Martian will give lead. And Ty will give chase. Yaris, damn. Ty dropping a Ty, yeah. Ty MN1, yeah, it's been a bit. Alright, switching them around. Martian in the lead. Ty in that chase position. How will he do? Nice handbrake for Martian, and Ty needs to apply pressure, needs to have a bit more proximity to Martian's door as he transitions into outer zone 4. Good mimic of the line and angle from Ty. Now applies the pressure into the shallow section of the track. Last Martian paints that line with a tire as he goes through the decel. Nice and smooth, very composed drivers. Transitioning onto the last corner for Ty and Martian and across the line. Very good run. IDC owner, he is still technically the IDC owner or Imperium. He's not in Imperium anymore, and like Imperium is that team. It's like an Assetto team now, Imperium. Unfortunate, you know. Alright. How long has it been? Like 2 months since he's MN1? 1 or 2 months? Then Silo and Jay joined. Crazy events. Alright. Gonna wait for the judge's decision. People you know are still in Imperium, just not for Carx, if that makes sense. Yeah. Ritty's in Assetto, Damien's in Assetto. I guess Ritty is not really Imperium, but like... whatever, he's in Assetto. I don't know who's Imperium. Don't know them. Alright. Judge is really taking a look at this one. Why do I still have it? Yeah, hey boy. It still works. Let's go. Oh my god, the brain rot is back. Alright, and we do have a decision. I guess yeah, after that much time. It will be a one more time, so we're gonna see them go at it again. Looks like my TikTok feed, yeah. Alright, so going at it again. Gonna have Ty in the lead position. And Martian in the chase. We're gonna need the drivers to clean up their run, needs to do less mistake, more proximity, just sending it more. Alright, both driver off the line. Honestly, Ty lose to witness the crash out. Wow. Alright, nice initiation from Ty. Taking a bit of a shallower line as Martian gets gapped a little bit, loses some proximity, but now applies it onto the door of Ty. Ty doing a good job in that transition in the fourth outer zone. A little bit of a nudge from Martian in that chase position as he makes the line nice and wide, but needs that proximity. Ty doing a good job in the decel zone. Nice and wide. Big angle from Ty up front. Martian wait for the transition. Gives it to him onto the door and across the line. What is the crash out? I don't know what the crash out is. Alright, Martian in the lead. Ty in the chase. Oh, like crash out, like like V. Okay. Cool down. Alright, gonna wait for the collisions to come back. Even crashes out on Minecraft. No way. Alright, off the line he goes. Martian in that lead. Ty in the chase. Nice initiation from Martian as Ty gets gapped already, but now applies the pressure. Kind of a similar as the first run. Good make of angle from Ty. Good transition, times it perfectly to dive right back onto the door of the Super Mark IV. Nice make of line from Ty. Paint those tire marks on Martian as one. Makes his way through the decel zone. Ooh, on the line goes Martian and painting that tire on the white line. Transition is a bit delayed from Martian as he almost... What the fuck was that for? Ty, big funny, yeah. There's judges, man. Shut up. I'm tired of the fucking bullshit.
Man.
Are you here? Hello.
Sorry, dude. Just got back.
All good, all good. No worries, no
Got
worries.
voice note. Big old splinter.
Alright. These judges, man, yeah. What happened in the lead? I think he just over-angled. Yeah, Martian over-angled. So unfortunately, because of that mistake, it will be Ty moving on to the final battle. Ty already having a step on the podium, and Martian is going to have to fight for it into the third place battle. As moving on to our top, other top 4 battle, we have Zedi against the Dride. Zedi will... Fuck. Zedi will give lead, the Dride will give it chase. Okay, ready to go, ready to send. No, he over-angled, the last Martian over-angle. Alright, the initiation very aggressive from Dride on the bumper, but
Big
gives him a
contact.
contact and 2 tires off. That's gonna be a 0 lead, but caused by Dride, I believe. The judges are gonna look at this one, scrutinize this. This is pretty much a 0 lead, and Chase doesn't even need to chase this. But see the Ty crash out? Well, I mean, he's not really in the VC, so we can't really see it. Yeah, unfortunate for the initiation. We'll see. It's just unfortunate. Big mistake from Dride in the chase. Ah, my days.
That's how it goes sometimes when you're pushing hard.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
little nudge here and there, a bit of a spank there from Dride, more so than a nudge, but yeah.
Yeah, a bit more than a nudge. Alright. Zedi just needs to give a clean initiation, a clean chase. And he does, gives him room, maybe too much room. Take a shallower line, but he knows.
Very inside there.
Yeah, but knows he has an advantage, just takes it safe. Not applying too much pressure. Now he does apply the pressure, but takes again the shallower line, very gripped up in the RCF. Makes his way through the decel zone. Gives Dride room to maneuver. Needs to wait for the transition of that long car. Times it perfectly. Dives onto the door. Then across the line they go. I don't see the contact, but I believe Dride is... Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a decel zone there, and he just... I don't know. Honestly, I'll just put it again.
Deselling, but it's a big heavy car. You have to anticipate what the leader's doing a lot more. So
like first the initiation was so weird. He like kind of like did. Oh no, it was like weird. And then
I mean, he turns in and he brakes in the braking zone, and Dride just seems to be a little bit too fast there. I don't know.
Question is now, is Zedi on throttle on time? Because
yeah, there's been a lot of drivers who have been holding handbrake and staying off throttle past the decel.
I don't know, we're gonna give it to the judges, see if we can get maybe a reasoning as well. Alright, as we do have a decision, yeah. It's gonna be, unfortunately for the mistakes of Dride, there will be Zedi moving on to the final battle, taking a step on the podium. And now we're gonna have our third place battle. We're gonna have Martian against Dride. Alright. Yep, Martian in the lead. Well, I don't know why my Google Sheet is acting up. Whoops. Wrong battle. That makes sense. Alright, Martian in the lead, Dried in the chase, Supra against Yakuza. Let's see, what can they do? Initiates, will he keep it clean this time? Yes, he does. Gives him room, doesn't hit him. Martian doing a good job in the lead, using all that track. Ooh, bit of a shadow line, uses left foot brake to settle that car into the zone. Not very good for the judges. A little bit of contact again. Dried very aggressive, trying to throw everything at it again. Makes his way through the desal zone.
Very inside.
Yeah. Ooh, tires up from Martian and up front. Transition for the last tire zone. Very messy run from both drivers.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thing is, when you cut line in such a big car, it's so easy to see, even if you're not looking at the tire marks.
Yeah. All right. Alright, Dried in the initiation. Whoops. Ooh.
That looked like contact and a big over rotation from last Martian.
That's gonna be interesting for the judges. Again, shallower line from Martian in the chase. Very shallow indeed,
Very
yeah.
much so. It's not even matching line as they get into the decel there.
Good transition from Martian onto the bumper. Again, yeah, shallow line.
Lovely last sector there from Dried. I wonder if he dropped a tire on that very last zone though.
Oh, where Martian is initiation, that's gonna be... Let me see that again. I think 90 degrees is 0, right? I mean, it's in the chase, I guess it's okay.
I mean, at some point we'll have to run a backwards entry competition just because. But that was a leader assisted backwards entry, I think. It kind of doesn't matter if he's in the chase. I'm surprised he actually managed to hold it and get back up towards where where Dried was in the lead, even though he was shallow for quite a lot of the rest of the track.
Alright, as we do have a decision, we're gonna keep it secret for now and move on to our final battle, which will be Zedi against Tai. Zedi giving lead, Tai giving chase. Or what did I say? Wait. What? Wait. Isn't Zedi qualified lower? IDC Fuji. Oh, which one is that? Okay.
One of the Minami ones as well. Not the normal Minami layout, but is it Minami North or something? Had a massive.
Oh, North Course.
Entry.
Yeah, North Course is backward entry. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Zedi in the lead, Tai in the chase for the final place of Video Rockingham round 5. Nice initiation from Zedi up front. Ooh, and Tai playing the pressure but taking a shallower line. Zedi good outside line onto those outer clips. Getting all those boxes. Tai waiting for the transition, getting a bit stuck in the transition. Needs to apply the pressure, needs to look for that door. Doesn't quite get it, but mimics the line nicely as he goes into the desal zone. Zedi, good line from Zedi up front. Very good lead, very chaseable as he transitions into the last corner. A little bit of a checkup. Tai right onto the door, now dives on there. Ooh, and maybe tire drop? I don't know.
Maybe a tire drop from Tai there.
Yeah.
Kind of a rubbish first corner from Tai in the chase there, but actually, after he got around that, you could, when we see it back on the replay, his rear tires were on Zedi's lines the entire way around. The big acceleration around to the right hand side after zones, is it 4, 5, 6 into the decel. Really nice chase for a good chunk of that of the track from Tai.
Yeah. Alright, flashing their lights, ready to go, ready to send them. And off the line they go for the final battle, final run of tonight in Rockingham. Nice initiation from Tai. Zedi right there with him. Tai again, the shallower line in the lead, but gets onto the white line, paints that tire onto the line. Zedi giving him room to maneuver, waits for the transition, dives on the inside, onto the door of that Yaris. but not mimicking the line. Now does mimic the line onto the door of Ty. Nice decel, nice and smooth, very stable. As he goes for the transition into the last corner. Needs to dive in onto the door. Goes Zedi and Ty.
So I think Zedgy there overall maybe slightly shallower in chase. There were a number of occasions where he wasn't mimicking line even as much as Ty was, or as much as the judges might like to see. Nicely timed transitions from both of them. I think perhaps slightly crisper transitions from Ty in chase. Obviously, the shorter wheelbase will help with that, but we've got a Toyota luxury saloon versus a Toyota hatchback. So either way, Japan's the winner on this one at the moment.
Yeah, and we do have a decision. So we're gonna go. How do we do this now? I don't know if we're announcing now or we're doing a 4-man run. I don't know if what are we doing?
4-man run, I think.
I don't know. I'm waiting for Champ's message to see what we're doing.
So let's check one in the lobby.
What's happening? I'm confused. Old. Okay, so so podium, I'm guessing. Okay, podium. I'm guessing. I need to get up in there as well. I'll go like here, whatever. Bop. Oh, I guess we have our first place winner, Zulu. Zulu taking the win. All right, so let's do this one. Give me a second to set up everything. All right, so for our third place battle winner against or between Dried and Last Martian, after a very long, I guess it wasn't a long decision, but we do have a winner, and the winner is who is it? I forgot. Wait. Okay, it's up there. I didn't see the message when I forgot. All right, so winner is. It's gonna be Dried taking the third place podium. Nice, congratulations to Dried, and unfortunate for Last Martian and losing out of the initiation in his chase. But here we go, Dried in the third place step of the podium. Martian right beside them, and then the first place winner will it be between Zedi and Ty. A very, very good battle from both drivers, but I believe it will be Zedi taking the win. Congratulations, Zedi takes the win for the video round 5 Rockingham. GG's to Zedi and Ty getting second step on the podium.
That's
winning
really
all those
battle.
battles.
That's
yeah.
super interesting.
Very, very good. Very good track. I need to take pictures. Be a good tandem from everyone on the podium. Let me just like bop. Oh, I need my keybind this picture. Oh. Where he gone at? Wait, okay. We had to do it again. Alright. Yep, that's fine. Bop. That's about it. I don't know what to do. All right, individual pictures, sure. That's I'll just do this for now. We need to do, what was it? Right. No, I typoed him, yeah, indeed. All right. Um. Now we can move on to the 4-man run or whatever the fuck he wants. I'll do this. I'll do drone cam. Am I still good at this?
Now's the time to find out.
What are we missing?
Oh mate, I could not get the hang of that drone.
Oh. There he is. Alright. Here's our 4 people podium. Gonna do a quick run. I don't know why he wanted to do that. What are they doing?
Switching places.
Bro. Ouch. Alright. Yeah, I'm ready, champ. Are they ready? What is he doing? What is bro doing? My car here. Oh, whatever, that's fine. Alright. Oh god, this is about to be chaotic. Oh, that's really good. Damn, okay.
Oh, as long as they give space.
Oh, Martian is struggling.
Well, at the back of these trains, you have to give so much space.
Yeah.
To back up.
Oh, this is gonna be scuffed. Oh, oh. Okay. Oh.
Nice. Oh, nice. He decided it was gonna happen.
Alright. Oh, that's where I landed. So yeah, there we go. There's our podium. Whoops. Hello. Thank you to everyone that showed up. Thank you to all the drivers in qualifying for showing up, trying to get a place on those podiums. Thank you to everyone for top 32. Thank you to our sponsors or partners. I need to get updated ones, but IDC, RidPix, Royal, GVDS, JFF, Tor IDS, me, and VDS. And
Me.
And yeah, me. And yeah, we'll see you guys next round in 2026.
No. 2 months, July. We'll be
2
in July.
months.
2027 to be
Yeah,
precise.
no,
2
wait.
months.
You're a streamer.
Wait. What month are we in?
We're May. Go June, no? June.
No, I've got exams.